Metal for the Masses, the only place that plays it harder, faster, and louder than anybody else on live365.com. I am joined by Mr. Blaine of the great state of Texas's own Sadistic Force. And we love Sadistic Force here on Metal for the Masses, especially their track Snowblind in Texas. We love that last little Texas scream at the end of it. But sir, thank you so much for joining. Remind everybody what you do in the band and how you guys have been doing.
Right on. Blaine Bismukes. I play bass in Sadistic Force. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. We got a new album coming out in I think about a week. We have our album release show, and yeah, man, it's just been great.
Fuck yeah, man! And the new album is called Midnight Assassin. So
Yeah.
what's kind of like the inspiration for this one? You guys kind of have that, modern day metal meets old school rock and roll, kind of sound. What's kind of the drive behind this one?
Right on. James is the singer and guitar player. He writes pretty much everything. I know that he was inspired a lot by like a lot of true crime and 80s slashers for this particular album. I think Midnight Assassin is like about there was like a murderer that was going around Austin in like the I don't know 17 or 1800s called like I think he was called like the Servant Girl Annihilator, and they built all these moon towers in Austin that are still remaining here. And the legend goes that they were building those to stop this, to catch this killer. And yeah, so that's kind of what that song's about, to the best of my knowledge.
So
Yeah.
this is kind of like I like that it's like kind of like a slasher thing. So it kind of like goes into like my love of I'm a bass player as well. So it kind of goes into like
Oh,
my love of
uh-huh.
goes into my love of like Misfits and stuff like that, because the Misfits, that's all it is. It's all like old like slasher horror kind of stuff, horror punk, horror metal. But then there's also another band that they came out with an album like the Silver Scream and the Silver Scream 2. It's just I'm drawing a blank right now, but it's kind of like that. So you guys are kind of going that route with this album. Um, I dig it. I really can. Old school slasher kind of vibe is definitely something cool.
Oh yeah, man. I love them, and I love old slashers. It's especially this time of season. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Come
dude,
on.
absolutely. The whole
Yeah.
my whole Halloween vibe is just is like on full display right now, just because it's we've been doing a kind of like a promo thing for the whole station show, where we're doing one night a week on the weekdays instead of doing the 3 night a week show, 9 to 10 Monday through Friday, to get more of that stuff in. But I'm like, you know what? We're also in October, so I'm inclined to play, kind of spooky, scary skeleton music. And
Perfect.
dude, this coming out, this will fit the bill. We might have to play the whole album in one night. Who knows?
Oh hell yeah, man. I hope you do. That's great. Yeah.
Speaking of the album again, how many tracks is it, and what went into the writing?
Let me see how many tracks is I think it's 8 or 9, and we have like a intro that somebody had made for us. That's you'll hear it. It's like a synth and stuff, and that goes like right into like the first song, and then the album drops.
So
Um,
somebody actually made the intro for you guys. That's pretty high
yeah,
class, man.
yeah. It's pretty tight. Yeah, and I was pretty stoked about it. I remember I ran into the guy at Hell's Heroes, and I didn't know who he was, and then he was like, "Dude, I made the thing for you guys." Like, oh man, that's so awesome! I love the thing that you did. Like, this is great. Like, let me buy you one of these $9 beers. You know what
Dude, thanks. I'll
I mean?
totally use this on our next album. And then you're like, oh wow, this actually slaps. We're gonna use it on the next album.
Yeah, this is great, man. Yeah, he's the nicest guy. Um, uh, I know, like James wrote this album, I think, roughly in a week. He was knocking out like a song a day. So I think it should be eight songs, because we had one that we did whenever we went on our UK tour, and then whenever we got back, we finished the album, and it was just like he was just in the zone and just knocking it out. We're just trying to like just stay super happy and awesome and excited about having the new thing come out. And I'm pretty stoked with how it's coming out, really. Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
who can't be super happy and stoked and excited about singing about people getting murdered? It's awesome. It's
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's cathartic.
I mean, like, is that what is that pretty much like what the is it like a concept album where it's just all that kind of stuff, or is it just like each song kind of is like a different aspect? Like, what are we
Um,
going with here?
uh, I think a lot of it is. I mean, I know a lot of it's mainly true crime and serial killer based, and then there's one song. I believe it's "March for Death," that it turns it all the way around, and you're just kind of being like, "Fuck these people!" Like who are out there murdering
Okay.
people, and like,
So
yeah,
so kind of like Church of Misery, but then at the end it's like, listen, these guys are scumbags, don't idolize these people.
yeah, that's a pretty good comparison. I would
Gotcha.
say, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because like
yeah,
if you look at
yeah.
like a Church of Misery album, there's no point in these albums where it's like these people are bad people.
Right, totally. Yeah, love Church of Misery. That is a great. Yeah,
Oh,
they're good.
dude,
Yeah,
I fucking love Dr. Death is my favorite song. I just
oh, that's
it's
good.
awesome.
Man. I love, man.
But
I saw them once. So good. Just that guy, the bass player, and how he just keeps it so low. You know, he's
yeah,
like, yeah, yeah. Just
and
being a
it's
bass player.
and just chugs on it, dude. It's just
Yeah,
I don't know how
yeah,
anybody just can't get like the tingles listening to that stuff.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
speaking of bass playing, dude, you're a bass player. I'm a bass player. What let's kind of go back to the beginning here. Like, what's your inspirations for bass playing, man? How'd you get dude, drinking out of the paper bag
Yeah,
on
yeah.
live cam? What are you partaking in, man?
Modelo.
Modelo. All
I
right.
wasn't sure if I could show
True
it.
champions, people. True champions. Modelo in the plastic bag, dog.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
anyway. Uh, what's up bass playing? How'd you get mixed up with Sadistic Force?
I started playing bass whenever I was like 14. I started on guitar, and then just I had a friend who had an older brother that, we looked up to, and he played bass in like some band in college. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that. And my friend was like, you get a bass and I'll get a guitar and we'll start a band, and it was like we're 14. And then, 20 years later, I joined Sadistic Force. Um, we're all homies. We've all been homies for quite some time, and me and the drummer used to be roommates like 7 or 8 years ago, and he had just played with a bunch of my friends in bands. I started some other band before this, and then around like COVID times, James started doing Sadistic Force, and me and the drummer have been jamming together for like over a couple years. And James needed a bass player and a drummer, and we were just like a package deal. And we were like, man, James is writing some really sick shit right now. Like we need to try and get on that, And we wanted to do that style of like black and thrash, black and speed, and not a lot of people are doing that particular style of metal in Austin proper. So it's just like a great fit, and we're all like just good friends
I
and laugh and have a good time together.
What is, I mean, like, I feel like I know what is the prominent music scene over there in Austin, but
Yeah.
what is the prominent music scene in Austin right now?
Uh, like Psych, probably.
Really? Not like country pop or anything like that?
No, you'd think that, but yeah, it's like Psych. It's like a lot of I don't know,
So all the
Rocky Eric.
cowboys found mushrooms. That's
Yeah,
what happened.
yeah, totally. Yeah, like Rocky Erickson's from here. It's like the 13th floor elevators are held in high esteem, and Butthole Surfers are from here, so they're held in high esteem. The Dicks are from here too, I think. So like they also have like a pretty good punk scene, and punk's really making this big comeback here. And then
Love
now
it.
everyone's starting to do like hardcore a lot, but we're just kind of going, and we've been wanting to go in this direction with Motorhead and kind of stuff for quite some time.
You and the
Yeah,
last guy I just interviewed would get along great. His name's Jeff. He's out of New York. He's from a band called Titanosaur. If you guys, I feel like you guys could definitely get mixed up in some cool shit. If you ever want to like do a collab, you should definitely reach for him. He just came out with a cool new album called Echoes. You should check it out.
hell
But
yeah.
with you guys, this album, uh, the last one was pretty pretty awesome. I mean, like I got like a
Thanks.
lot of like I definitely got a lot of like that Motorhead. I even like would say that I got like sort of kind of like if Motley Crue was heavier, it's kind of like how I it's kind of the vibe you guys put off for me. And I love that kind of stuff. Like, I'm kind of like I'm a child of the present day, but like my music taste is everything my parents would have listened to. And like, my dad got me into metal, and Iron Maiden is like, my bread and butter. So it's like it just stems from there. You guys kind of like take that old school vibe, which by all the posters you have back there in your background. I mean, I see
Oh, sure.
Metallica's Kill 'Em All back there. I
Yeah,
see
yeah,
I
yeah.
even see
Iron
Iron Maiden.
Maiden.
Yep, there he is,
Yep.
Killers.
All the Motorheads and all that
Hell
kind of
yeah,
stuff.
bro.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
But did I mean, obviously, like, your influences, like, the Motorhead and that kind of stuff. Did did any of like that Metallica Kill 'Em All, or like Iron Maiden Killers, kind of like, where do you kind of like put your bass playing prowess? Like, did any of that kind of get into this album at all?
yeah. I mean, Cliff Burton's probably my favorite bass player. So I mean, I've always liked him a lot. So I've been like trying to, but he plays with his fingers, and I play with like the down picking a lot.
There's no
I
shame in that. I feel like
Yeah,
everybody's like so
yeah,
ashamed.
yeah,
Like, I play with a pick.
yeah. It sounds brighter to me. You know what I mean?
All
So
right.
like
It's
that.
just like, look,
Yeah,
man,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
look, I don't like getting blisters, and I
yeah,
can do
yeah.
this, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And I've just trained myself to do it, and I started playing like punk whenever I first started. So I kind of like went this way. Yeah, just a lot of like Lemmy, but like Lemmy plays so much like a guitar. So it's like this half-ass like version between like like that I kind of shoot for, I guess, in a way.
Gotcha.
Um, yeah, I like early Motley Crue, like for sure. And we get some of those compliments too, like after shows and stuff. People will be like say things like I hear like a little bit of Motley Crue, like I'll hear like a little bit of Iron Maiden in your stuff, and then I'll hear like Motorhead, and then all this thrash, and then and stuff. And it's like, yeah, that's just like James is just so like there in this weird level where he like can
Right. Cause
pull
like
all these
you
different
guys even
things.
have the
Yeah,
track.
yeah,
You guys even have the track Hell Bent for Leather,
yeah,
and it's just like
yeah,
it fits so well. Like the identity of Sadistic Force just kind of like
yeah.
fits like that kind of era of music, that it just is like you can't help but hear all of these influences from everything you guys have. But it's like the best part about it is like you guys aren't like ripoffs. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It's like
thanks, man.
these guys genuinely have these influences, but they're forging it into something else. And like, these other two albums that you guys have out, great tracks like, Snowblind in Texas, Hellbent for Leather, and so many others, man. Like, it's awesome, from beginning to end. It's just um a magical ride of nostalgia and creativity all wrapped up in one.
Oh, wow. Thank you, man.
No
That's
worries.
awesome. Yeah,
I
yeah,
try
I
to
love
word
it.
my stuff just right.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, man. That's just so cool to hear. And it's just like such a trip, like to be able to like be talking to someone in New York about something that like I just I'm so passionate about, and
Yeah.
like it's been a dream of mine since I was a kid, and a dream of all of ours since we were a kid. And it's just cool to keep seeing things go in this direction that like sometimes I have to like be like, well, this is really happening. Okay, cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just really really tight. And I just can't thank you all enough for reaching out and
Fuck
whatnot
yeah,
to,
dude.
to
And
do
no
this.
no worries, but I am in New
Yeah.
Jersey, not New York. I know
Oh
people
shit! I'm
like to
sorry, dude.
I know
Yeah.
people get it confused sometimes. No, it's fine. I'm actually quite glad I live here and not New York. New York is a shit show right now.
Oh
But
no.
kind of moving on here, like as far as like, you guys playing shows, I'm always seeing on your social media, which is, let me get my phone up here so we can give you a proper plug.
Oh sure.
It is at Sadistic Force Official, all one word. So go give them a like and a follow. But I'm always seeing you guys are
Mhm.
posting up shows that you guys are going to be playing. You got an album release show coming up October 14th, I see.
Yeah.
which doors open at 9 p.m., which is going to
Yeah.
be your time. What's that, Central Time for you guys? Because it's Eastern
I think
Time
so.
here.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that'll be at Weberville Road in Austin, Texas. So that's pretty dope. But
Yeah.
I'm always seeing you guys post that you're playing shows, and you guys seem like a really fucking active band, which I love to see. Do you guys have like is there like any like tours going on right now for you guys in the future? Is there any like big power plays for this band coming up that you can fill us in with?
Sure. Yeah, we're playing this thing called Levitation Fest here in Austin, Texas. That's like a big thing. We're playing like an after show, but like I think like Hiram Fire's playing that, like Uncle Acid's playing that. These like bigger name bands and
Right.
such. And then like these other bands that I've like never heard of too, that like a bunch of 20 something year olds are like about and everything. And so it's like this weird mixture of all those things, and we're like fortunate enough to be able to be a part of something like that, and that's really great. And let's see, we have a just a I don't know, it's like every other week we have like a show, so I just usually forget like who we're playing with, like where we're going. I just
You're
like
just
have to
so
know.
in the zone.
yeah,
You're just
yeah,
like, play? Okay.
yeah. I'm like, I need to be in Houston tomorrow. Like, at what time and where do I need to be? You know what I mean, or something like that.
I
And,
need to give
and
my boss ample time so I can
yeah,
call out of work.
yeah. And it's great. And I love like a lot of like the scenes and the people that we're playing with are so great. We're going to do like a little small like just three banger run with two bands that are really great. Called one's called Kill the Lizard, and they're very similar in the same style of like kind of what we're doing, and like I would even say like they're like very energetic, like Midnight. If you've ever seen that band live, like they're just like all over the place and running around. They're really cool. We're gonna do like a little three banger, just somewhere in Texas. I think it's like Dallas here and Houston or San Antonio, and we're trying to put together a tour like up to the Northeast at some point also next year.
Gotcha.
So it'll be
Well,
like a big thing.
I definitely hope it runs through Jersey, man. I'll definitely come see you guys live. If it comes
Oh
through the
yeah.
Northeast. That would be a banger. Going back to Midnight Assassin, what roles did I mean, obviously we know the roles of the other band members, but like how much input did they all have? I mean, obviously your front man's really doing a shit ton of the legwork with all the writing and
Yeah.
stuff, but like how much like did you guys actually like put in to it other than that?
Man, this album we put it took so much longer than our first one. Like our first one, I think we did that whole album in like less than 2 days, and we were just like, whoa, like it just happened. It was like kismet. We were just right for each other to do that. And then this one, we were trying to do like a little more and add a little like acoustic guitar, like little tracks and stuff in between stuff to give things like melodic tastes. And our drummer did maybe like 12 hours on the drums, and I was in the maybe like 2 or 3 days playing bass, and then James was probably about what the whole thing probably took about 2 weeks this time.
Wow.
So yeah, maybe like off and on. I mean, all of us work and stuff, so we'd have some days off, or it's like, hey, we just couldn't get that day off from work, and we got to pick this up like on Wednesday or something like that. But it
Right.
took us quite some time, and we're pretty proud of it. I like how it happened. I like the artwork. Um, Everyone involved was great. We were able to kind of get some local musicians that we really like too, from so and so band, be like, hey, come in and do some backing vocals with us, and have a
Nice.
beer, and let's just party for like at the last day we just had like 15 people come in, and just like a case of beer, and just like, all right guys, let's have fun and just do backing vocals for like 3 hours and then go to a show. You
That's
know what I
awesome.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like that. You're really getting like local scene involved, which like, that's it's weird. It's something that I think like more bands should do. It's like you should actually start getting like more people, like even like big name bands. I don't know why they don't why they don't do this. But like you
Yeah.
should, like, that's helping your local scene out. That's like, hey, like we couldn't have done this without, all these other people. Check out all their other bands. And these are all, bands local to the, Texas area. So it's like this is Texas talent on one, awesome album from Texas. This is all Texas. You know what I mean?
All Texas. Yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
Texas.
100%.
This is 100%. This is what you can expect when you come here. This is our scene. This is awesome. Um,
Yeah.
that's really some cool shit, man. That's shit that I love to see when it comes to this. As far as like, you said you did this all in like approximately like 2 weeks. Did any of these tracks like have to like literally be deleted and rewritten from scratch, or was it pretty much just everything was smooth sailing from the get-go? All you guys had to do was kind of just meet up and just bang it out.
Um, I mean, it was not without its troubles for sure. Like whenever recording stuff, it's just so like just patience is just key for everything, and no matter how like stressful it kind of gets sometimes. But we're like very much like we will be like almost like stubborn on like, okay, we got this, we got that drum track down perfectly, so now we're just gonna have to do this bass track again and again and again until we match up with that drum track. And we also change a lot of time signatures in songs. Like we'll have like 4 different time signatures per song or something like that. So it will be like piecing together a puzzle sometimes. And then sometimes it's like just we knock it out and it's like, okay, like that was great, just first take. Like let's just do like a bat, like a one for safety or something, and then send it off to go get mastered and edited together. But yeah, and it was pretty smooth. But like I said, it's never always, it's never just completely just like there's no speed bumps or anything like that in the road.
Gotcha. But nothing
Yeah.
had to be like rewritten from scratch, right?
No, no, there was never anything like that. There would actually be sometimes we would make like a happy accident and be like, you know what? Let's keep that in. And then like, like and just go with that. And then like Jay, like someone would make like play a riff and miss a note or do a different note, and it's actually sounded better than the original note. So we go back and then do it this new way.
It's like,
you
yeah, you
know?
know what? That did sound better flat. I like it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. And it's kind of nice, and you're like, hey, shit, yeah, the song's still writing itself.
Fuck yeah,
you
man. I can't wait to
Yeah.
hear this thing. So Midnight Assassin, it comes out, what's the official release date for this album?
Um uh uh, uh Friday the 13th.
I love it. You guys really go hard into this. It's a slasher album and it comes
Yeah.
out on Friday the 13th. That's this Friday actually, This is going to
Yeah.
be
Wow. Shit.
wow, fucking A, dude. This is going to be
Yeah.
airing I mean by the time today's Sunday, my time, and Sunday your time, but by the time this airs, I mean it'll probably be like Tuesday or Wednesday. And yeah, and then people will be hyped up for its release on Friday. That's fucking A, dude. I like it.
Hell yeah,
But
man.
do you guys feel like it's going to be some bad juju releasing it on Friday the 13th, or you guys feel like you guys have conjured up enough, dark energy that that this will be a good one?
Oh, I think like the bad juju will work in our favor,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, the whole album's about a slasher. Why wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Um
It's like it's perfect. Do
there is
it.
there is one question that I thought up that I don't know, might
Sure.
be a little bit of a controversial question. Not as controversial as drinking on camera, but you know what?
Oh.
That's why this is PG-13. Uh um is there anybody, because I see, going back to, I did ask this a little bit ago, it's like I see you guys touring around a lot and playing with like a lot of local bands, and you guys even have like, a lot of local talent, doing backing tracks on this album. Is there
Yeah.
anybody that you wouldn't work with, or that you have worked with and it's just like, probably never again?
Um, everyone's been pretty cool. Like, yeah, I can't think of like anybody that we were like, fuck that guy, like forever. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, yeah, or
Like this
anybody
isn't
that
like Metallica, Megadeth kind of hate each other kind of shit.
No, not that, like, nobody, nothing serious. Like, there'll be like just every once in a while, like there'll be like that guy at a party that's overserved or something like that. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
But like, yeah, there's never been anybody that's like ever directly like done us wrong, or that we have like any like bad blood with or anything that we wouldn't play a show with them or nothing like that. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that has something to do with us like starting out like in the COVID times, and everyone wanted to just keep their distance from each other. So everyone just kind of like became like very like together in like little pods, I guess. But I
Right.
don't know.
You're
Yeah,
around somebody just enough to where that we all don't piss each other off.
yeah. It's like being a server, or something like that. You just put
Yep.
on, yeah. You're just putting on that
Absolutely.
mask, I'm just like, listen, I'm
Um,
gonna talk to, yeah, yeah.
who would you say? So there's nobody that you would not work with that that around your scene that you've been with.
No.
Who do you think was kind of like the best kind of band you've played with, or the best people that you've worked with, in your area or putting together this album?
In Texas, or that we've like played with like this
Just in
it
general, just in
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 general.
general.
Um, man, like I know that if I say anything in Texas, like I'm gonna immediately be like, oh, I should have added that person in there too, and that person too. But one of my favorite like Texas bands that we've worked with recently was Kill the Lizard. I really enjoyed them. Like, it had been like a while since I'd seen a band that like really blew me away. Like, I'd never heard them before. I heard great things about them, went and saw them, and it lived up to and super exceeded my expectations for them. And they're the nicest dudes. I showed up to like a club early, and they were like outside, and we all went and grabbed a burger together and had a beer, and I'd never met them. And that was just like one of these last shows that we played. But one of my favorite bands that we've ever played with, like, was we did a UK tour with this band called Inhuman Nature, and they were excellent. And we were on the road with their singer was our tour manager also, so we were on the road with him for 2 weeks straight. Like, I got to know the guy really well, and he was
Gotcha.
just like the nicest dude. Everyone in the band was great. They were funny. They partied, but not too much, and like just
So
showed us
that's
everything. Yeah,
that's interesting. So that brings up like another cool question I kind of have. I've been
yeah,
noticing like a lot of bands like I won't see too many like tours throughout, like I'm talking like more like underground bands, like bands such as like like, not as an insult, but it's like Sadistic Force,
sure.
and plenty of other bands that I've come in contact with here on Metal for the Masses. A lot of them will do UK tours before they do like a majority of the United States. Is there like a reason for that? Is it like cheaper? Is it easier? Is it like what's kind of the thing? I see like a more, I almost like want to say it's like I see more bands getting outsourced, you know?
Really? Huh. That's an interesting question. For us, it was the way that we landed it was, I think James had done like these two demos essentially by himself, plus like an old drummer before we came on. And this guy, Chris Barling from Inhuman Nature, reached out and was like, I'm starting a label. I want to put you guys on the label. And he was like, absolutely, let's get our units pushed overseas. And after we had, worked for about a year as a band, we were like, okay, should we go to the UK or should we buy a van and go tour the US? And we were like, well, when are we ever going to get the opportunity to go to the UK to do what we love, like,
Right.
and go play shows, and they were great. And we're like, we're all in unanimously, let's go to the UK. And so we just worked for like a year and a half, pushing everything towards that goal, made it happen, and it was amazing. You can't put a price on something like that.
Fuck yeah, you
You
can't. Do you guys think you'll ever do you guys think that you'll be doing that again? Maybe for Midnight Assassin, a Midnight
I
Assassin UK leg?
I mean, that would be incredible. I would love to do that again. I think that this one we're going to try and focus more so on doing like continental US tour just because we
Gotcha.
hadn't done it yet. You know what I
I,
mean?
I,
Yeah, I've never
I
even been
understand.
to New York or New Jersey like ever. So yeah, how's that out there?
I'm gonna just briefly say you're from Texas. You've never been over here. I'm gonna preemptively just say I'm sorry.
All right,
Just gonna
I'm
preemptively
excited.
say for whatever happens, you know what? Just sorry. It we're all not scumbag. We all try not to be scumbags, but I think the majority of us are just scumbags. So
Right on,
sorry, but
man.
we all the metal scene over here is pretty tight. At least
Oh yeah,
by what I can see. New Jersey, it's a lot of hardcore, and always really has been that more like industrial kind of like hardcore kind of vibe,
sure.
and punk. But alternative is kind of been the what the kids are into these days, and I don't know, like anytime somebody says the front bottoms, I cringe. Uh,
The
and
front,
new
what's that?
the front bottoms, I cringe.
Oh,
It's a
who are
it's one of the right that exactly. Don't ever
they?
ever try
Okay.
to. It's like, look, man, I was trying to figure out what some of the girls were interested in, and they were all interested in this band called the Front Bottoms. Never again, dude. You know,
I'm
it's
gonna have to look them up now.
one of them kinds of shit. It just sounds like the whiny dog shit kind of stuff. Not it's
Oh,
not
okay.
metal. It's not metal.
It does not
Uh,
rock.
it's just no. It does. It's not. It's very flaccid music. But yeah, man, it's the music scene over here definitely could use a band like Sadistic Force, definitely.
I'm
But
excited.
hell yeah, hopefully we don't disappoint. But if we do, that's why I'm saying now.
No, it's all good. I had a question for you, man. How did you come upon us?
I've done an interview with you guys in the past. For yeah, it's okay. It's all right. It's okay. I am just some prick on the internet. I say it all the time.
No, I
Um,
think I did hear it. It was you and James, right? And this was like maybe about like a year and a half ago.
year and a half ago, yep. It was me and
Okay,
Jay. Yeah, dude. James is a funny dude, man. James is
it's
great.
hilarious. Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
he's
like
funny as
the
fuck.
whole time I couldn't stop, dude. Like I had just like for like 2 weeks straight listened to the previous album, and just Snowblind in Texas, man, was like my jam for like the 2 weeks leading up to that interview.
Heck
And
yeah.
I just couldn't like be like, dude, like why do you scream Texas at the end of this song? Like like what was in you that you had to get out to just scream Texas at
Oh
the
yeah.
because it was awesome. Like I'm even sitting here going like, dude, like yeah, I need to scream Texas at the end of this track too. Like it just fit. It's
Fuck
awesome.
yeah, dude. Yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
mean.
That
Like
was
I love your guys' music, man. I love playing it here on Metal for the Masses. It emphasizes everything that we're about, harder, faster, and louder than anything else. And it's just that big energy that 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 I just love. That I just don't with a lot of the metal bands, like especially like with like a lot of bands going like more of like the black and roll and black metal and stuff, like you miss that fast in your face, just absolutely a demolishing abominator kind of energy
for
that
sure.
used to be prevalent in a lot of bands. And it's not all there as much anymore. And whenever a band does come to the table and has it, like I would say that as of recently, from what I've heard, you guys, the band Night Demon, like
Oh yeah.
you guys have that energy that's just kind of there, and
Oh
it's great.
thanks.
It's definitely a kind of sound that I feel like more of the scene needs.
Oh dude, that's awesome. How did you find James in the initially?
Initially, I mean, like initially in the show, it's just like when uh when I was just
Sorry.
starting out, it was just kind of like scrounging the internet for bands, man. That's kind of how
Oh
it
sick.
goes. Because this whole show is essentially just finding bands in the underground and giving them their time in the sunlight here, because mainstream really just doesn't give a fuck about any of them, from what I've
That's
come to
true.
learn. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like I went to school for this kind of stuff. And when they tell you the purpose of radio is to make money, everything just clicks. And that's why all you hear is the fucking Chili Peppers and Metallica on repeat.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's why all I hear
Yeah.
is Pearl Jam. I don't hear any new band ever. And
Yeah.
if it is a new band, it's like a new band that's been new for like years, that have already been known for forever,
Yeah.
and have like a massive following already. It's like, it's never like, it's like, here's Sadistic Force on, they're out of Austin, Texas, and this is their track, fucking Hell Bent for Leather, and you never hear that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But in metal's also even more stigmatized, because we're quote unquote the scary music, and that's all I've ever gotten as well. And I'm just like, I don't know. Everybody just wants to be a Swiftie, and that's about it. So it's really it. That's what I've come to find. Everybody just wants to be a Swiftie, and all the Swifties just don't have that intelligence level to listen to metal. So,
Do you think that like the Swifties will ever be like classified as a street gang, like Juggalos?
I mean, dude, like they had enough power to literally bring Ticketmaster to its knees. So, like, they literally stiffed Ticketmaster. So I'm pretty
It's kind of
sure,
badass.
like, I'm worried for this. I'm worried for this dude playing for the Chiefs right now, man. Like,
Yeah.
if he fucks up once, all of the NFL is getting abominated by Swifties, man. Like, that's just how it's to be. But
That's fucking
no,
great.
like, I genuinely do think that the Swifties are a cancer, and that's why I'm just like, we need to band together. We need to start supporting metal again. Metal needs to come back out on top. That way,
Yeah.
singing about your cringe ex is not some like artistic form. I think it's
Yeah.
more of an autistic form, but I don't know. That's my personal belief. But no, like, I found you guys initially just because the purpose of the show is, like I said, just finding bands like yourself, and bringing them to other people. It's more just like, hey guys, look what I found on the internet today. And that's
Yeah.
the purpose of this show, because I just find that not many other people are doing it. um at least none that I can find. Like, I find a couple here or there. Like, I found my buddy Josh, who does Metal Incorporated, which I believe you guys are at least affiliated with or know of. Um,
Mhm.
and really, all we've really been trying to do is just, one, help the scene support itself, like, get a bunch of artists together, we all support each other, and we all just kind of make sure that, like, hey, if somebody's coming out with some new stuff, let's get it shared up, let's make sure people know about it. Or just like, hey, like, here's a new artist, go check them out, go give them a follow, make sure people know about them, because the mainstream, the generation before us, they're not really helping us out. So we kind of need to help ourselves out, and it's kind of just going to be hard legwork. But then you just
Yeah.
have streaming platforms like Spotify and iTunes, and so many that are really just not really helping us out at all. They're just, I
Okay.
just feel like when a band's getting paid less than $1, like less than a penny, really,
Yeah.
for any kind of stream, I just feel like it's a ripoff at that point. Uh, but I don't know. I can go on about this kind of shit for
Oh
hours,
man.
but I
No,
just
that's all good.
I just
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to take up much time here. This is about you guys. It's not about me.
No,
So,
it's all good.
you're also a bass player, as we've stated multiple times here. What's kind of gear do you use?
Um, I used to use a Jackson, but I just kind of upgraded to the Fender P bass, but it's like an '80s one from Japan. Kind of like I think that dude from Midnight. I really love that band a lot. So like I've been seeing that P bass coming around a lot, and then I also saw them play like several times. We played a show with them once even, and I've like seen them light it on fire and it still works. And I was like, that, like I need to get that. That's gonna
I need
survive
to
a
do
tour.
this on stage now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. And then I also use like an Ampeg, like most people do, 610s. Like 810s. We don't need to go any louder than 610s, you know, for a club.
Got you.
And yeah, and if you're even playing like some big like concert hall, they're gonna DI you in anyways. And then also use a dark glass head. So I find that I don't need pedals if I'm using this dark glass head because it's got this like micro tube simulator that just sounds perfect, and it weighs 7 pounds, so I can fly with it and everything. So it's super easy. And that's just pretty much what I use.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah. So if you want, to everybody listening, if you want that sadistic force kind of sound, that's what you got to use. And you have to make sure that you can set your guitar on fire and it still works. Because if you don't, if you can't, if it breaks, then you're not sadistic force material. You know, that's it. That's really how it goes. But Blaine, man, this has been great, dude. You know, it's absolutely been an honor having you here on the show. It's been an honor having Sadistic Force back on the show. And I can't wait for the release. Midnight Assassin comes out Friday, the 13th of October, obviously. So that's a big deal. The whole album is about slashers, except for the last track telling you that slashing people is a no-no. Some good shit, man. Anything else you want to add to the closing, man?
Dude, thank you so much for having us, having me, and then like also representing the band and everything. Like, this is so great, and I'm so happy that like people love this and that they tune in and they give a fuck about this kind of stuff and they care about the scene and metal, you know. So that's great. Thank you so much for having me, man. It's been a pleasure meeting you. You know?
No problem, boss. It's my pleasure as always, and hope to do this again when you know, when you guys come around with some new material. It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, fucking A, man. And hopefully we'll see you whenever we go up through that neck of the woods soon.
Fuck yeah, man. I'll be there.
Yeah. Fucking A.